Hello students, welcome to the online tutorials. Today we are going to continue the first chapter, which was circular flow of economy. Now the topic is, what are the sectors involved in the circular flow? We have learned about the phases, we have learned about the cycle, we learned about the stock and flow. Now the next thing is sectors involved in the circular flow. Now basically there are four sectors. In your economy. The first sector is the household sector. What is household sector? Basically the household sectors are the consumers, us. Household sectors are the ones who are engaged in the consumption of goods and services. What we do when we go to market? We consume things. We buy the things and then we bring them home and then we consume it. Engaged in the consumption of goods and services, and is also the provider of factor services. What do we provide? We provide land. To whom? To the producers. We provide our labor, we provide our capital, we provide our entrepreneurship. So basically household sector are engaged in the consumption of goods and services and are also the provider of factor services. Now the second sector, which is producing sector, or in short we also know it as firms. All those firms are under the producing sector. Now under this sector they are engaged in the production of goods and services. Very simple one. Producing sector or firms are engaged in the production of goods and services. All those industries which are engaged in producing some sort of goods and services, they come under the second sector, which is producing sector. Now the third sector is the government sector. The government sector. Now, government sector engaged in the activities related to taxation and subsidies. Now what is taxation? Your dad, your mom will be giving taxes to the government. So what is tax? Tax is the amount which we give to the government from our income. So the taxes and the subsidies. What are the subsidies? Subsidies are the financial helps which the government provides to the poor section of the society or the citizens of the country, as well as production and consumption. Basically the household sector, the producing sector, both includes in the government sector, as well as all those activities which are related to the taxation and subsidies. And welfare function. Our government works for the welfare of the society. Function like law and order and defense. Both the things are very important for the society. If we don't have the law and order, if we don't have the defense, then our economy will be crashed down. So this is the government sector. All the activities related to taxation, subsidies, production, consumption, welfare, all these things come under the government sector. Now the last sector, which is rest of the world or external sector, the outer world, the other countries, the rest of the world. These are the external sector, the fourth sector. So the rest of the world is engaged in import and export and flow of capital between domestic economy and the rest of the world. Basically this sector works between the in the imports and exports and the flow of capital between domestic economy and the rest of the world. Whatever we import, whatever we export, this comes under the fourth sector, that is the external sector. Fine. Students, we are going to continue the next topic, which is types of circular flow. Now, before starting this topic, let me show you some quotation. Intersectoral dependence leads to the intersectoral flow. Suppose there are two sectors, households and producers. Now, with the household and producer, both are interdependent to each other. Like we, the households, always require some sort of goods and services, and the producer sector is always required for the land, labor, capital from the households. Now, with these lines, let's start with the real flow. The first type of circular flow of income is real flow. What does it mean? It explains the exchange of factor services. What are factor services? Land, labor, capital, enterprise. So basically, exchange of factor services by whom? By the households for the goods and services. So basically, the exchange of factor services, land, labor, capital, enterprise, by whom? By the households. For what? For the goods and services produced by the firms. So basically, they are exchanging things with the physical things. They are not using money here. They are just exchanging things with the physical things. That is why it is also known as physical flow. The real flow is also known as physical flow. Now, the very important point, no involvement of money is there. Under the real flow, there is no involvement of money. Now, if we will have more of the factor services, if we will provide more land, more labor, more capital, then this will lead to the more volume of production. If we are presenting more land, more laborers, then automatically it will turn into more volume of production. We will produce more goods and services, which will ultimately help our economy to grow. If we are producing more goods and services, then our GDP is going to increase. Now, this is a diagrammatic representation of real flow. Now, there are two sectors. Under this real flow, you have to study only two sectors, which is households and the firms. Now, the households provide the factor services to the firms. What are factor services? Land, labor, capital, enterprises, etc. And in return, these firms provide the households with the goods and services. These physical goods and these physical things. Both the things are physical and no involvement of money is there. For the household providing the factor services, the firm present them with the goods and services. Friends, the next type of circular flow of income is the money flow. Now, money flow, it explains the flow of money, not physical things, money across different sectors of the economy. The flow, the exchange of money across the different sectors like producers, households, and so on. That is the purchase of factor services. What are the factor services? Land, labor, capital. The factor services, they are being purchased by the producers from the households, and in exchange, we the household purchases the goods and services which are being produced by the producer sector or the firms. Now, this money flow is also known as nominal flow. Now, here is the diagrammatic representation of the money flow. Here also you have only two sectors, that is households and the firms. Now, the households and the firms. The firms provides the households with the factor payments. You remember here in the real flow, the households were providing the firms with the land, labor, capital. Now, in the money flow, the firms will provide the households with the rent, wages, interest and profit. And in return, the households are going to expenditure, they are going to purchase the goods and services from the firms. So here no physical thing is being done, but only exchange of money is being done. The firms are providing rent, wages and interest, and in return households are purchasing goods and services from the firms. So that's all for this